Fourth grade, you've had a big week. I mean, a big week. You've been studying division this week, and for the last 2 days, you've been introduced to our standard algorithm. Now, the standard algorithm can get really tricky, so today we're going to pause, and we're not going to do a Eureka math lesson. We're actually going to practice this skill with a little chant that I use to remember all of the steps that go into standard algorithm. And then we'll practice it on these 3 problems. So after you learn your chant, make sure that you grab something to take notes on so we can practice these 3 problems together. After this video, you'll upload a picture of those notes to show me. You got it. And then the assignment is practicing some long division. So let's not waste any time. Let's get going today. Your objective today is that you're going to be able to follow these steps to do your standard algorithm, whether it's with 1-digit dividends, 2-digit dividends, 3, 4, more later on. But it's all about knowing which step to do next. And because there's so many steps, I have a little chant that I sing with it. You might have heard me sing it a bit during exit tickets, but let me teach it to you right here. Ready? Divide, multiply, and subtract. Bring it on down and bring it on back. Divide, multiply, and subtract. Bring it on down and bring it on back. Now notice I'm not including check your work. That's a step that we'll do after we solve our division. Now, you might understand these steps, but bring it on down and bring it on back might be new to you. So let's practice what this might look like in some problems, and I'll show you how we use these steps to solve a standard algorithm. For our first problem today, and make sure you're writing this down alongside with me, we're going to solve 9 divided by 2. You're probably used to seeing number sentences written like this, where we put the dividend first, then our division symbol, and then our divisor, potato, potato. Instead of using a division symbol though, I'm going to draw an upside down L that kind of looks like a house. You might actually even call it a house, where your dividend is living inside of the house, and your divisor, that's going to bother me, is knocking on the door. And so for this first problem, we're going to do 1-digit divisor, 1-digit dividend. We're going to follow these steps to find our answer, our quotient. First, we divide. 9 divided by 2. How many groups of 2 can I get into the number 9 without going over? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10's too far. 2, 4, 6, 8. I can do it 4 times. Divide, multiply is next in our chant. When I multiply, I'm going to take the top number, I'm going to multiply it with the divisor, and I'll put that product underneath the number 9. 4 times 2 equals 8. Divide, multiply, and subtract. My next step is to subtract these 2 numbers. And as I'm doing these steps, you're doing the same steps on whatever note-taking device you got going on. 9 take away 8 is 1. The next steps, bring it on down and bring it on back, are steps that we use if we have longer numbers with multiple digits. But after the number 9, there's nothing left for us to divide. And because 1 is so small that we can't pull any groups out of it, that's our remainder. So our answer is quotient 4, remainder 1. Now, even though I can't do these steps, doesn't mean I'm going to skip number 6. We're always going to do step number 6, which is checking your work. Just like addition and subtraction are opposites, so we can check our work using the opposites, multiplication and division work the same way. If you want to check your multiplication answer, you can divide. If you want to check your division answer, you can multiply. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. To check your answer, you're going to take your quotient, and you're going to multiply it with your divisor. Your goal is that your answer is the same number that you started with inside of your house. But notice, not the same number. That's because we had a remainder, remember? So after you multiply, you have to add back that remainder. And now that these numbers match, I know that my work is correct, and I've checked it. That is our first of 3 problems. You got 2 more to go in this video, so make sure you have a space to do your next problem. Our next division problem is 29 divided by 2, where our dividend, 29, our largest number, goes inside of the house, and 2 is knocking on the door. So take a moment and make sure you have these on your notes as well. Notice I erased all of the check marks on our steps because we're starting all over again with divide, multiply, and subtract. Bring it on down and bring it on back. Divide, multiply, and subtract. Bring it on down and bring it on back. Step number 1, let's divide. Now, instead of asking ourselves how many times can I get the number 2 into 29, I'm only going to do 1 digit at a time. I'm only going to focus on this 2 right here. How many times can I pull groups of 2 out of 2? 2. 1 time. When I skip count by 2s, I immediately get to the number 2 with 1 group. Multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. And subtract. 2 minus 2 equals 0. Now we're going to get to the steps. Bring it on down and bring it on back. Because we have this number next, it's all the way at the top, but notice my long division is starting to stretch down. I gotta bring it on down and bring it on back, meaning that I'm starting the steps all over again. Divide, multiply, and subtract. Bring it on down and bring it on back. Now we're back at dividing again. Only this time, I'm only focusing on the number 9. 9 divided by 2. How many groups of 2 can I fit into 9 without going over? 2, 4, 6, 8. Ooh, I remember this from last time. I'm going to put that 4 right on top of the 9. 4 times 2 is 8. That's the multiply. 9 minus 8 is 1. That's the subtract. I've got no more numbers to bring down, which means I have no more steps to bring back. So that means that this number, because I can't pull any more groups of 2 out of it, is our remainder. But you know the deal, guys. I don't know if I'm right unless I check my work. So make sure you have these notes on your board, on your paper, whatever you're using, because now it's time to check and see if we got the right answer. Start with your quotient and multiply your divisor. Remember our goal. We want to get the same number that's inside of the house. 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. Awkward. This is 28. This is 29. They don't match. But I have a remainder. So I'm going to add the remainder. And now my number matches my dividend, my number inside of the house. Whew. Second problem down, guys. You got 1 more to go in this video. You're nailing it. You're doing great. Give yourself some room for your next problem. Our next problem is 19 divided by 2, where 19 goes inside of the house and 2 is knocking on the door. And we need to start over with our steps. Divide, multiply, and subtract. Bring it on down and bring it on back. Especially since we have 2 digits, we're going to have to bring some things down, right? Well, let's see. Let's practice. Remember, we only work 1 digit at a time, so we're going to ask ourselves, how many groups of 2 can we pull from the number 1? I immediately see a problem here. The number 1 is too small. Look at that. 1. Can I take groups of 2 from that? No, it's too small. I don't have any groups of 2 to take from that number. So when a number is too small for us to divide from, we look at both of the 2 digits. So instead of asking ourselves, how many groups of 2 can I pull from the number 1, how many groups of 2 can I pull from the number 19? So let's skip count by 2s to see if we can get as close as possible to 19 without going over. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. And I'm going to stop there. Because if I go to 20, that's too high. So I'm holding up 9 fingers. Instead of putting the 9 on top of the 1 here, because we use the whole number 19 to skip count to, I'm going to put the 9 on top of the 1's digit like this in 19. And that way, I'm lined up on my place values. Multiply 2 times 9, 18, and subtract. Bring it on down. Nothing to bring down. Bring it on back. Nothing to bring back. Because 1 is so small, I can't pull any more groups of 2 out. That's our remainder. You can probably guess what's next, guys. We are going to check our work. All right. Start with your quotient and multiply your divisor. 9 times 2 is 18. We want these two numbers to match, and they're not matching. So we need to remember our remainder. And since these two numbers match, we have checked our work. Do I expect you to be an expert today at long division? No. I'm not an expert at long division. I enjoy it, but it's something that takes lots of practice. And so I'll be practicing it with you each day in class. But I want you guys to get your feet wet and really try it out today. So now that you're done with this video, take a picture of those notes that you did on those 3 problems that we practiced, and then go add a response, and we'll have some more practice problems for you to work on. Do I expect you to get every single one right and to be perfect at it? No. But do I expect you to try? Absolutely. So good luck and give it a shot.